Welcome back to the channel. We're back with our Avatar Last Airbender Commander deck profile with Yue, the Moon Spirit. For 3 and a blue, we could queue up a joke about the Imprison the Moon card and get 3/3 with Flying and Vigilance. Waterbend 5, where what that means is that while paying a waterbend cost, you can tap an artifact or creature in order to pay one of that 5, and then you could cast a non-creature spell from your hand while paying its mana cost. Similar to the way that Lady Octopus worked from the Spider-Man set, doesn't have to worry about the timing based upon the way that it's written. So we have plenty of ways to make sure we're tapping, untapping our creatures, our spells, Yue herself, in order to make sure that we get plenty of spells during each player's turn for free. A lot of big spells that we're going to be getting during our opponent's turns while we're at it, so that we could, Omniscience for the win, maybe a Shark Typhoon while we're at it, all that type of fun stuff. And then, like I said, ways to untap ourselves with stuff like Unwinding Clock, and just some cheap stuff we get on the board, so we have plenty of stuff to tap in the first place. But that's just a general overview of the deck. Let's get into it card by card. Starting us off, we have Arcane Signet. We need the 4 mana to cast UA in the first place, so this will help us do that. Then later, it'll pay for one of that 5 for the waterbending cost. Bender's Waterskin, untap this artifact during each player's untap step. You add 1 mana of any color. Normally the 3 mana rocks aren't that useful, but this one getting to untap during each player's turn, especially in a blue deck where you're trying to play during your opponent's turns and you get to pay for one of that 5 for the waterbending cost, gonna be super helpful. Chamil, the Inner Sun, spells you control can't be countered, so when we're playing cards like Omniscience and like other like 8, 9 mana spells, it's gonna be really helpful not to have them countered, because that wouldn't be a good time. And at the beginning of your end step, discover 5, getting us another one of our cheaper spells onto the battlefield in order to tap it for UA potentially. Cloud Key for a little bit of cost reduction there. This way we get some cheaper artifacts onto the battlefield potentially for free, allowing us that benefit that we're looking for. Darksteel Relic, a cheap artifact, well, a free artifact actually, that we can get on the board in order to tap for that waterbending cost, allowing us to, get something more expensive for free. Can't get much better than that. Heartstone, for 3 mana, activate abilities of creatures cost 1 less to activate, only reduce the ability, can't reduce it less than 1. So, this pays for 1, this reduces it by 1. You're already at Waterbending 3, you only need 3 other things on the board, which you're already at turn 3. You'll probably have a way to get to that at that point. Howling Mine, at the beginning of each player's draw step, Howling Mine is untapped, player draws an additional card. We're going to be trying to tap it with UA's ability, so this way we don't give our opponent that extra draw power, but then it untaps during our step before our draw step, so we'll get that extra draw power ourselves. Illusionist Bracers, whenever an ability of an equipped creature is activated, if it's not a mana ability, copy it. Choose new targets for a copy. Cast 2 things for free from our hand, maybe like an Omniscience and a Shark Typhoon. Not in that order, in the opposite order. This way you get a powerful thing with the Shark Typhoon. And yeah, you get 2 free spells rather than just the 1. And you can also tap it because, it doesn't matter if an equipment's tapped or not. It could still be equipped. Inspiring Sanctuary, non-artifact spells you cast have Improvise, allow us to tap our artifacts for something other than just UA's ability, since we have those unwinding clocks, we have all those ways to untap our stuff, so may as well keep on tapping it in order to get those benefits. Also get UA on the battlefield in the first place. Icecrown Scepter, enters the battlefield, exile an instant card with mana value 2 or less from your hand. Pay 2, tap, copy the exiled card. Maybe exile your mana drain, then you have that 5 mana for UA's ability to get something for free. Or, something different. We'll get to those cards in a bit, though. Lightning Greaves, UA herself is a tap ability, so you want to make sure we give her haste so she can use that ability to turn she comes down in order to, get around all the removal our opponent's probably going to be trying to run to get rid of her, so we don't get free Omniscience. And also, another thing that we can tap for UA's ability. Lotus Petal, you can either sack it for that mana, or you can just tap it for UA's ability and get that ability anyway. Depends what you need at the time. Magerite Stone, pay 1, tap, untap target creature with an activated ability would tap in its cost. aka Yue, you may as well get her ability twice rather than just once. Mind Slice Apparatus, another thing that doesn't care about being tapped for UA's ability, but does get us some cost reduction for our other spells. This way, maybe if we're taking like an extra turn or have to cast solve the equation, it gives us the way to win the game. Sapphire Medallion, once again, doesn't care about being tapped with Yue's ability, but does give us that cost reduction. Sculpting Steel, second Sapphire Medallion, second Unwinding Clock, second Soul Ring. There's a whole bunch of things we want second copies of. Actually, I don't know if you really want a second copy of Unwinding Clock. It's just the first one I saw. Soul Ring for the extra mana. That's 2 out of 5 that you're getting there for UA. Sting, the Glinting Dagger, in order to untap UA during each player's turn. This way, when we're untapping her during each player's turn, we're getting that ability 4 times each time around the table. Especially with that plus Unwinding Clock. That is basically a game, most games. Unless you have nothing in your hand. Swiftfoot Boots for the same reason we run Lightning Greaves. Dot Vessel for, we're going to have a lot of draw power for this one. So no maximum hand size is nice, plus extra mana. Dazzling Elixir, allowing us to use UA's ability to turn she comes down. We want to do that, and we want to do it twice, so we'll pay that 1 mana to untap her. And Drone of Eldraine to get some extra blue mana to our mana pool. Or draw cards if we need it. Then Unwinding Clock, the best card in the deck, I'd say. Allows us to untap all these artifacts. This way you get more of UA's ability. Whew. Really good card. For our creatures, we have a Fedo Alchemist, untap target artifact or creature. Like I said, we want UA's ability. May as well do it twice. Ethereum Sculptor for some cost reduction there for those artifacts. Joret, the Healing House, 2 in a blue, untap target permanent, untap 2 other legendary creatures, aka UA and nope, Fedo's not legendary. Who else? Anyway, Marvin. There you go. This way you could use the ability 4 times essentially at that point if you have enough things to tap for that 5 mana. Copy Guide for some untapping for UA. Marvin, in order to double up on UA's ability. We've seen it, we said it, we like to do it. Omen Hawker, in order to pay for UA's ability in the first place. Ornithopter, just something cheap we get on the battlefield to tap for UA's ability. And Spellskite, another thing that doesn't mind being tapped, but then we pay that 2 mana in order to redirect any removal that was meant for UA. On to our enchantments, we have Cast Through Time. Instant and sorcery spells you control have Rebound, allow us to cast them twice essentially. If you're already getting stuff for free, you may as well get it for free again. And this is a 7 mana spell you're getting for free while you're at it. Freed from the Reel. Another way to tap and untap UA, getting her ability as many times as we please, or as many times as we have mana for. Omniscience. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs. I don't know about you, but free spells do sound quite nice. So, you may as well do it. And keep on doing it. One with Multiverse, look at the top card of your deck anytime. Play lands and spells from top of your deck. And then once during each of your turns, you only do it during your turn, of course. You may cast spell from your hand or top of your library without paying its mana cost. And it's some free removal, some free extra turns, some free stuff that we'll get to in a little bit. Shark Typhoon, we have some expensive spells in this deck, so getting a blue shark with that mana values as power and toughness can be quite helpful. Swarm Intelligence, there we cast instant sorcery spell, copy it, new targets or copy. But if you're taking an extra turn spell, you may as well take the double 2 extra turns rather than just 1 extra turn. Training Grounds, in order to, reduce UA's ability costs. Unstoppable Plan, another way to make sure we're untapping all of our stuff for UA's ability. This way we can get it again and again and again and the next day and the next day. That's it's a quote from Magic the Gathering, the SpongeBob one. Offer You Can't Refuse for your counterspell. Arcane Denial for a counterspell. Because, we get to play our stuff. Our opponents do not. Counterspell for a counterspell. High Tide, or get a lot of extra mana, especially if we're untapping UA, and we have all those islands. That's going to win us the game. Hercule's Final Meditation, as long as it's not your turn, cost 3 more to cast. Doesn't matter if we have UA. Return all non-land permanents to your owner's hand, and end the turn. Basically ending your opponent's turn during your upkeep if they aren't nice to you. Mana Drain for another counterspell. Narset's Reversal in order to copy one of our extra turn spells. Negate for a counterspell. Nexus of Fate, take an extra turn after this one. We don't mind an extra turn. It's a 7-mana spell? No, it's not. It's a free spell with Yue. Um, and just keep on getting those extra turn after extra turn, copy that extra turn, get those sharks from taking the extra turns, and eventually those sharks will swing on your opponent until your opponent has nothing left, and you're just there winning the game. Rapid Hybridization for some removal, and Swan Song for a counterspell. This way, if your opponent tries to counter your extra turn, no, you can't. Sink into Stupor for some removal, Seagate Restoration for some draw power, Nykthos trying to Nyx. We have a lot of what's it called, devotion. So this could potentially get us a lot of mana. Weird Landscape for some extra lands. Mistrise Village in order to make ourselves uncounterable. Yep, that's right. I said it. Minimo, School of Water's Edge. Untap target legendary permanent, aka Yue, aka use her ability again. Gemstone Caverns for a little bit of blue mana. Emergence Zone. Sacrifice it. Cast spells this way. Head Flash. You know, sometimes you're not always going to have Yue. Sometimes you need to use your omniscience during your opponent's turn. Archway to Innovation. Next spell you cast this turn has Improvise. Like I said, we're not always going to have Yue. She may get removed. So, being able to cast stuff in another way is going to be helpful. Then Academy Ruins. Put target artifact from your graveyard on top of your library, making sure you get that Unwinding Clock, that Sting, all the things that you want to see back onto your library. Beacon of Tomorrows for an extra turn. Captain of Jingzhou for an extra turn. Echo of Eons for some draw power in order to make sure we get into those extra turns. Karn's Temporal Sundering, extra turns. Mnemonic Illuge. Exile target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, copy that spell 3 times. Take 3 extra turns. Maybe, we double this up with, Narset's Reversal. Just keep on using it. Solve the equation, or search out your extra turn spells. Way to win the game. Stock up. Essentially some draw power. Temporal Manipulation. Extra turns are not draw power, but they do give you an extra turn, which allows you to draw an extra card. Temporal Mastery for some draw power. Temporal Trespass for her extra turn. Time Stretch for that extra turn. Time Warp for that extra turn. And Windfall, because eventually you'll need to restock your hand. But yeah, seems like Yue is going to be a really fun commander. Is she CEDH? I don't know, because I don't play CEDH, but, in theory, probably. She has, all the pieces that would, make a great CEDH commander from, what I do know about CEDH. But that's my personal opinion there. If you guys do like the video, make sure you like the video. If you want to see more like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, so you can stay tuned for future videos. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.